Hey, how are you today? I'm so glad that you're here. Today we're going to talk about emotions. And if you've been with me for a minute, you understand that emotions are triggered by our thoughts, right? We got that, right? So let's talk about that and how we can circumvent and figure out what the emotions are that we want to have for that day, right? And we're going to take control of this. So we know that emotions are connected to our thinking, our thoughts, whatever it is we're thinking. So have you ever felt an emotion? And then you know that when emotions we really feel in our body. We can feel the happy, the sad, the excitement, the fear, all that kind of stuff. We could feel that in our bodies, but we don't know, and we know that from neuroscience, we triggered that emotion with a thought. And oftentimes we may not know or remember what that thought is or realize what it was that triggered the emotion that we have, right? So we're thinking, well, what was I thinking just before this emotion that I have in my body? What was the thought that was running in my head? Most likely, you don't remember the thought because it happens this quickly. Thought, emotion. It's so quick that you don't even remember what that thought was, because maybe you want that thought so you can have the emotion again at some other point, or maybe you don't like the emotion that you're feeling, and you want to explore what was that thought, what was I thinking to create the emotion that I'm having right now. Right? And so that's one of the things we're going to be talking about today. So it just happens so quickly, and we don't really know where that emotion, how we triggered that emotion in our body. What was the thought? What were we thinking before that, for that to happen, right? And so we can, track back the way we're feeling to what we were thinking. So your body feels, and it remembers that emotion. You'll remember the way you're feeling a lot longer than you will that thought that you had created that just popped up. We have so many thoughts that go through our brain all the time. What is it, 35,000, decisions that we make every day. Those are all thoughts that we are, deciding on. And so we make a lot of them. And oftentimes we can't figure out that one triggered thought that we had. So, hi, I'm Jean Harville, and I am the founder of the Unleashing Your Genius, and I empower moms so that they can motivate their teens to step into who they want to be and who they are, and take ownership of their gifts, talents, and emotional well-being. So, we are in the I just changed the name of the group to Moms of Teens. And I'll get you the full link to that a little bit later on. In fact, I'll put it below this video so that you can just click it, okay? So I'm the founder of Moms of Teens, connection and support for families raising future leaders. And like I said, I'll put the link below this video so you can click it and come on over into our Facebook group. We're having a blast over there. So I'm also the creator of the Empowered Mom Effect opening in the fall, with exciting ways that you can become a heart-connected mom. You can create calmness, confidence, and certainty in your life and what's going on in your home and in your family. Okay, so remember to click the red bell to subscribe, so that you'll know whenever I pop up a video into my account, you will be notified by YouTube. Okay, so click that bell and click the like button as well, so that we can so I can know if you're liking what it is that I'm talking to you about, so you want more of it. Okay. All right, so the same process happens to all of us. So we take a look at our teens, for instance. What you notice is the emotion. They're angry or they're excited. They are not holding back. They are releasing whatever the emotion is that they're having. They're frustrated. They're sad. They're overwhelmed. I mean, all of these emotions. And, we have, of course, as parents, want to fix it. Like, what's going on? Have them talk it out. And they don't want anything. In fact, they may slam the door in your face. They may run off or leave me alone or whatever it is, because they are not in control of those emotions themselves. And most likely, your teen has no idea what started it. We know what it is. It was a thought. What was he thinking just before this big grandiose emotion happened? They're not going to know. They have no idea. Like, what are you talking, Mom? I have no idea. All I know is I'm mad. Or I can't do this work. Or I am not smart enough to get this work done. And so it starts spiraling and spiraling and spiraling, right? And so it turns into those negative things that we don't like to hear from our kids. I'm dumb, I'm stupid, I'm not smart enough, right? And it all comes from that emotion, which was triggered by a thought. The thought and the emotion come together and create an identity. I'm not smart enough. I'm not good enough. So you're like, okay, how are we going to unravel this as a parent, right? Because we've been learning and understanding how this whole system works. So now we have the chance to coach your teen, right? Because we know teens don't want to be told, oh, no, that's not important. Oh, that was just this or just that. They are having ownership and they are feeling the feels. So we need to honor those feels that they are having, that they are true to your teen, right? We can't come at it from an outside viewpoint and say, oh, you shouldn't feel that way. Oh, it will pass, We don't know. So what we can do, and so we know just talking to our teens will either get the door put in our face, or they'll run out, or they'll be on Xbox or whatever, right? And that's really not the behavior that we're wanting. We want to have that communication with them and have that heart-to-heart connective conversation with them. So how do we do that, right? How do we do that? So we know that, like your teen has an emotion that's going on. Like, tell me how you're feeling. Well, they may say, well, can't you tell I'm frustrated? I'm mad. And though you could say, well, I can see that you're mad, and what's making you mad? I'm not smart enough to do this work. Okay, well, tell me more about that. Like, can you give me a little bit more idea of how you came up with that statement that you're not smart enough? So they're going to tell you more things, how they're dumb and stupid and everything. Then you could say, can you tell me a time when you were smart? It doesn't have to be about homework. It doesn't have to be about schoolwork. It could be, out playing soccer. It could be out somewhere else. Can you tell me a time when you were smart? You could also make a statement and say, are you always not smart? Are there some things that you are smart in, that you excel, that you do well? And it depending on if you've been able to diffuse their emotion or not, they may say, oh no, I'm dumb and stupid, I can't do anything. So then you could think about, let me see if I can come up with an idea with like a fishing trip, right? Last Saturday you went fishing and you caught like 3 fish, and no one else caught fish, and you did. So you figured out how to catch those fish. And so does it always mean that you don't know how to do something? And just try to help to diffuse that and coach them through that. Or tell me about a time when you are successful, where you made a suggestion and it was a great suggestion. What are the times that you have been able to show your knack for being able to get something done, right? So simply helping your teen to see that they are smart by having them come up with that evidence when they are smart, or something where they did something and it was a smart decision that they made. So basically helping them to disprove the statement, I'm not smart enough, right? So shifting that thought pattern to I am smart enough, and that helps in challenging and changing the narrative into a possibility, a positive statement, I am smart. So it's a way of just coaching them and not negating their feeling, but honoring their feeling and asking, are you always not smart enough? Is there a time when you are smart enough? And, it just kind of helps them to shift that thought pattern. So when you recognize your own thoughts, because we know that as moms, we have these same things that pop up with us. And when we are empowered and we understand and know how to move ourselves out of that negative thought process into asking ourselves, is there, where is it that I excel, that I do well, right? And so when you can figure this out, and you ask yourself, you recognize your own inner thoughts, that you tell yourself every day, and you recognize the emotions that they bring up in you, right? Because like we say, thought and then the emotion. So what you get to do every day, every morning, and is to, when you wake up, what is it that you want? What is the emotion that you want to feel for the day? For me, it's joy, peace, and creativity. Those are three things that I want to accomplish today. As I'm moving through the day. There will be other days that I will need other type of emotions like tenacity to make a decision. What is it that I need to do for that day? What is my state of being that I get to be for that day? Hey Sherilyn, how are you? And live from that emotion. So that what's going to happen is if you set the emotion, then you need to figure out what are my thoughts that I need to have for today. Now you're setting these thoughts in advance, deciding in advance what is the thinking, what are the thoughts that you want to have for that day, so that you can have those emotions, those three emotions that you have already decided that are going to get you through the day. So think about what thought, like you can do this. You are a good figure outer. So that if you come across a problem, you say, no problem. Go take a quick walk or go do something different. Think about it in a different way. And then that you always are, that you are a good figure outer, that you can figure things out. You can do hard things. And if that is a statement that is true for you, you can do hard things, so that when something comes up that kind of challenges you, you're like, I can do hard things. I'll figure this out. I'm gonna go take a quick break, and I'm gonna go walk around and think about it, and I will come up with the answer, because that is always true for me. That works for me. So when you get those patterns of the thought and then getting the emotion that you want, you sit down and you get to work and you figure out whatever the issue was that you are wanting to think about or wanting to solve. Then once you figure out that pattern, that system, then you can help your teens, right? And again, it's that heart connection with them. What are some feelings? You can just start with one. What emotion would you like to have for today? You're excited. Great. What are you excited about? Awesome. So what kind of thinking or thoughts do you want to have in your head rolling around, right? Because we've had this conversation that your thoughts are going to create the way you're thinking, the way in your emotion. And then an emotion is going to determine how you act in your behavior. Who do you want to be today? So you can string those three things together, knowing that the thought has to be the right thought, right? The thought that's going to bring about the emotion, the emotion that they want, and that together is going to bring about the way they want to be and how they want to show up for the day. So it's just basically having that conversation, asking a few simple questions, and and just start slowly. Start slowly, because our teens will give a pushback. I know what you're doing, Mom. I know what you're doing. But what you're doing is you're training them. You're training them to think like, okay, good morning. What do I want to have happen today? How do I want to feel today? What do I need to be thinking about to get me to where I want to be thinking, so that I can be who it is I want to be? So it is advanced for our teens and in the way they think, but as we as moms understand it, then we can emulate that and show as example. And by just casual conversation, I thought I chose that I'm gonna work on today, that I can do hard things. I think that's gonna help me to feel fortified, that I know that if I come across something that could be a slight challenge to it, that I know I can do it. So it's just a casual conversation, and your son or your daughter will say, yeah, right, Mom, whatever. They hear you. They hear you. So it's just leading by example and then just coaching them through. So I'm going to sign off, and I want you to hit that bell again so that you can subscribe, and then also leave a comment down below, and I will also leave the name of the Facebook group, and you can click in there and come join us, okay? So I'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.